All right. Hey everyone, welcome to another Forsaken. Good evening. Hopefully you've had a decent Monday. Thank you so much for joining. Um, yes, good evening to all. Good evening to one and to all. And every last one of us. I don't know. I was getting a little Tim vibe there, but then it went away. All right. So, uh, giving a little recap of last week. Which I mean, not a lot was done last week, but yet a lot happened. Um, yeah, last week was fight week. So our adventurers were attacked by four bugbears in the middle of the night at their campsite, which was just at the border, um, kind of in between the Bornheim area and on their way to the Erebus Empire. As everyone worked their way through a round of combat, Rhaenyra removed himself from immediate danger and then proceeded to cast a web over a portion of the battlefield. The web entangles not only three of the bugbears, but also a few of the party members as well. Meanwhile, Jurble begins having some unfortunate side effects due to the wound in his side. Um, or at least we think that's what these side effects were from. As the battle continued and our heroes attacked as strategically as possible, one bugbear begins to light a torch, but is attacked and drops it before succeeding. Once three of the bugbears were down, Rin bent down to grab the torch that was left, signaling for the goblins to assist the remaining bugbear in battle. But these goblins were, a little different than your normal set of goblins. Probably different than what a lot of you had seen before. You were able to take care of all the bugbears, and as soon as the last one was dispersed, the goblins kind of went away. Y'all tried to get some shots in before they left, but unfortunately you weren't able to down any of those. So that's pretty much where it is. Kind of where we left off. I think someone mentioned like going to bed at the end of the last episode, since it is still nighttime. But I mean, I would say probably you're only looking at like possibly like 1 a.m. at this time. It's still fairly early in the night, I guess you could say. So, yeah, I guess that will leave us there. For those watching, I did pass on a list of things that the group found amongst the bugbears, which I will list off to you just so that you know what goodies they got. They got a couple of healing potions, one scroll of locate creature, which Rhaenyra took. Got some gold, got some silver, so some monies, a glass prism in a pouch with some loose sage, mucus in a small glass bottle, which looked like fungus with a cloudy green substance, also a bag of holding was on one of the bugbears that Rin picked up. Also two small onyx bugbear statues of their god Hrugek, a couple of bloodstone gems, a smallish porcelain vase with what smells like strong alcohol inside, possibly. A small quartz with a dark imperfection inside. And then they also had a pic of what the bugbears were wearing. A couple of them had a couple of thieves' kits on them. Since I think all four of them were kind of roguish bugbears. Also had a disguise kit, a couple of short bows, some arrows. Yeah, so they had a few things to pick from there. I think, let's see here. There was something. Oh, I think I also forgot to mention about the glass prism. Oh, yeah, no, I did mention the glass prism that was wrapped up with the sage. Pixtron, you took that. Gosh, I think because you spent some time there, go ahead and roll an intelligence check for me.
Well, let's see if I retain this information.
Don't you mean intelligence save?
No, an intelligence check.
14.
14, okay. I would say as you, as y'all kind of rivaled through everything and kind of divided amongst yourselves, anything that wasn't claimed Ren kept in the bag of holding, I think. But as you look at this this prism that you pick up, it's kind of in I said it's in like this kind of velvet pouch with some loose sage inside. And as you take a closer look at the prism, it's kind of in a pyramid shape, and you remember seeing a whole shelf of these, and you've never really seen them like anywhere else. It's not something that's really sold normally, but you remember seeing a whole shelf of these at Bornheim when you were spending time in the library there with Queen Anselm. And I think that's all of the special stuff. Of course, if there's anything that y'all want to do, like check someone that you picked up, just let me know. And we can definitely do that.
I would like to roll a knowledge history or knowledge religion on Hurugik.
Okay.
The statuette and whatnot.
Yeah, do either history or religion, whichever one you want to do, and let me know which one you choose.
I chose religion, and that was a 24.
Ooh, look at you. Yeah, you've definitely heard of this bugbear god, specifically, usually a bugbear god, specifically. He was the chief deity of bugbears and was the god of ambush, violence, and combat. Let's see here. Yeah, he appeared, you know, that he, like, usually, and you can tell in this little statue, he looks very powerful. The statue is carved to be, you know, there a lot of muscle mass. It seems like a very powerful creature. And it has its claws, its hands kind of out in a claws out gesture, with its mouth open, baring its teeth. And also in one on its side, on its belt, it has a huge morning star attached.
Does Jurble carry a morning star, or does Jurble carry a hammer kind of thing?
Good question.
He has a pickaxe.
He has a
Keep calling it
pickaxe.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that he has a club or a morning star of sorts. I think he has his pickaxe. He has his bow. Let me just double check here, because I do have his starting equipment that he started with marked down. Yeah, no, I think just his war pick and his bow.
Cool.
Yep.
Questions on D&D Newbie 101 again. So bags of holding, I know they hold a lot, given the name. Does it make it to where, like, the weight of those items no longer work for my encumbrance?
Right. Have you looked it up at all, Zach?
Not very much, no, not yet.
All right, let me, I'll send you a little, in chat.
Okay. But then after that question, I am going, does it work like, if I look in it, I see what's in it, or does it just look like an empty bag? How does it work in that sense?
I think it, because like, it kind of goes into another dimension, another plane, but
Got it.
I kind of play it that you can see kind of, maybe not everything that's in it, but you can see like maybe stuff that you've recently put in or keep at the top.
Got it.
Yeah.
I want to look in the bag of holding I found to see if there's anything interesting in the top area. Because, right, you said that the stuff that was in the list that you said was not stuff that's in the bag.
Right, but there wasn't, I mean, the stuff that was on the list, I mean, there might have been some stuff in the bag, but I mean, it wasn't like all, what I meant that it wasn't all stuffed in the bag. So, like, there wasn't anything else in the bag besides things in the list that I mentioned. Sorry if that was misunderstood.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to sit and start shoving some of my stuff in my bag, so I'm lighter.
Yeah. You can hold a lot of stuff there. For those watching, if you're unaware, let's see here. It can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet. It weighs 15 pounds regardless of its contents. And retrieving an item from the bag requires an action.
How do I'll ask this later.
Sure.
For like how to note take what's in the bag for like my character and things like that. Got it.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, you can keep it just in your inventory, I guess.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. And there's also notes in D&D Beyond. I just can't see any notes that are on your character sheet in D&D Beyond, but you can take separate notes there too.
Got it.
All right. Anything else? Or I guess y'all are just free. I mean, you're out of combat. It is, I said, about 1 a.m. Yeah.
Did the big spider robot walk away?
Spider robot?
Well, in my mind, the way you described it with the big eyes, number one, I pictured...
You saw 2 big eyes.
Yeah. But they were like glowing-ish.
Uh-huh.
Right? So when you described it that way, I immediately pictured the Iron Giant from the animated movie.
Uh-huh.
So in my mind, it was a spider robot, but I understand that's probably not what it was. Is that thing still around?
No. In fact, I think I mentioned at the end of last session that you saw it turn and, or you saw that the eyes were suddenly not there anymore. And you heard retreating, like the large thumping footsteps that you heard before the bugbears attacked. But it sounds like that they get the amount of that it shakes the ground gets less and less. So it seems like it's retreating.
Got it. I think the logical thing is, if you guys agree or not, is we should probably move camp. Anybody against this idea?
I'm not against it. Is there something better close by?
Well, I mean, even if we just like went over towards the woods and camped a little bit in, it's not like we need to get fancy. Just so we're not here if they come back looking for us.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay. No, I was going to say you would know by just from spending time in this area that if you move a little bit kind of northeast, that you can kind of see that the forest kind of goes just a little bit deeper. It's not a huge forest here, but you can get more into the trees and kind of travel up northeast a bit to kind of get away from this open area. Sure.
I'm going to run over there and start looking for an okay spot with just a little bit into the woods.
Okay. All right. Make a perception check for me.
Come on, green dice. I think my perception went up 1. It did.
Ooh.
Nope, reading the wrong one. There it is. It still did go up. I just looked at the wrong one. So 15.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I would say as you scout a bit northeast here, you go a little bit deeper into the woods and you see that, I mean, you don't see anything that would be an issue in this area. You don't see anything that would threaten setting up a campsite here.
Okay. I'll go back and tell everybody and direct them that way.
I will follow.
And as we go, I'll also tell Teagan or anybody that's good at it to also try and cover our tracks as we go.
Okay.
Teagan,
make a survival check.
Super hurt still? Is he looking still really banged up?
Jurble is...
Yeah, I guess we're dragging Jurble over to the new campsite.
Yeah, Jurble, I think... Let's see, y'all.
Just use Jurble to cover the tracks. Just drag him over everything.
Yeah, y'all revived him because he did go unconscious during the last fight, but y'all revived him after the fight. I mean, he is looking rough. He definitely looks tired. Probably seems a little out of it. And just kind of like dazed.
If you guys don't mind setting up camp a little closer to each other, I have something that could help. I've been doing a bit of reading.
And
define closer.
Just I mean not on top of each other, just within within 10 or so feet of one another, we can be safer.
Sure.
And I'm going to cast Leoman's Tiny Hut.
The great tiny hut.
Oh, love it. Love it. So what is this? So explain for those watching what this spell looks like.
So Leoman's Tiny Hut creates a 10-foot radius immobile dome of force that springs into existence above you and remains stationary for the duration. The spell ends if you leave its area. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside the dome with you. If the spell fails, its area includes a larger creature. Oh, the spell fails if it includes a larger creature or more than 9 creatures. Creatures and objects within the dome, when you cast a spell, can move freely through it. All other creatures are barred from passing through it. It's basically a dome that'll protect us from whatever tries to ambush us or what. I can make it dimly lit or well lit or completely dark inside. I can make the color of it whatever color I want it to be. So
wow, fancy.
Yeah. I just can't leave. People can go in or out, but I can't.
Okay. All right. So Rhaenyra's cast Leoman's Tiny Hut around the camping area.
It's black and it's dimly lit.
Okay. I rolled a 20 on the.
Yeah, you're able to successfully cover the tracks. Congratulations.
All right. How much? So nobody got a long rest. I'll take first watch with anybody, and then I'll take my 4 hours after that. If anybody wants to take a watch, or I'll just take the watch by myself. Either way.
I think I took the original first watch, so I'm going to say I'm exhausted, so I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I would say that Zephyr will take the first watch with you.
I would like to, but I can't leave this space, or else our protection's gone.
Well, understood. I can do watch inside the hut, right? I can see outside the hut.
You guys can all leave, but I
mean, I think the hut's opaque, so I can not opaque or clear.
Yeah, you can see through it. You can see through it to the outside.
Right. So I can.
But others can't see in.
Correct.
All right.
It's just weird. It makes clothing changes a little awkward.
I mean, well, yeah, it does. You should maybe find a tree or something.
Look at that shiny thing. She holds up the prism.
Ooh, interesting.
Do y'all remember this back in Bornheim? They're on the shelves at the shop.
They didn't see it.
I know.
I don't remember such a thing. Could I take a closer look?
Only if I can put it back in my pack.
Of course, yeah.
There you go.
I'm going to do a knowledge arcana on it just to see if whatever.
Okay.
12. Arcana.
All right. Yeah, as you look at this, this glass prism in your hand, it's like the shape of a pyramid. Like it just has, like the 4, if you count the bottom, the 4 sides, but it seems like it's cut differently in the middle to kind of have it, and it shines pieces of different colored lights on the front of your shirt as you hold it. And sorry, I have a cat outside my door that's like, I don't know what it's doing. It's like bumping into things. And we have a small table outside my door that has a bunch of board games under it. And for some reason, he just loves just batting around the board game boxes. Yeah. And so, no, you don't see any arcana on this.
Well, it's certainly very, very, very nice looking. I'm sure you'll enjoy it to the fullest.
She'll put it back in her pack. But she's actually gonna lay down next to Jurble.
Okay. Yeah, Jurble is already conked out. He's...
Oh, I've got spell slots. Yay! That's what I was double checking. She'll do cure wounds on him while he's sleeping.
Okay.
But 8 hit points.
Is it 8 hit points?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Oh, I can't.
Now we can at least feel a little better as he wakes up. Maybe even if it's not much.
Let's see here.
But she'll basically just stay by him and like, it's almost like being in mom mode. Like you're asleep, but you're not asleep.
Okay. Oh. All right. Anyone else want to do anything before you go to sleep or before you start your watch, Teagan? With Zephyr? Zephyr just kind of, goes over and sits down and kind of, makes himself comfortable.
Oh, Teagan will just scout around.
Okay. All right. So make your perception check, Teagan.
You do.
Oh, okay.
15, 10 plus 5.
All right. It was a 7 for Zephyr. Nothing happens on this first watch. It seems to, which is, well, technically like second watch in the night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, nothing happens. Everything's quiet.
I'll go over to, I guess Ren at this point. And say,
Don't
do me. I'll be right back.
Oh,
do me.
all right. We'll wait for the DM. All right, who wants second watch while the DM?
Because I did the first watch before we got attacked, so I need sleep.
Okay.
I can do second watch, I guess.
I mean, yeah, technically we'll sleep in late, but we'll still get our 8.
Yeah.
Huh. That rhymes.
All right. So who's taking the next watch?
I am.
All right. So roll me a perception check, Renarius.
Oh wait, hang on. It's an 8.
It's an 8. Okay. Cool. Yep. Nothing happens. All's clear. All's right in the world. It seems it's very quiet. And you would have noticed this too on your watch, Teagan. You don't towards the beginning of your watch, Teagan, you would have heard the kind of very distant sounding rumbling like you felt before. That kind of would go, and then it would be like maybe 5 seconds later, and you'd feel another one. It was more or less not really feeling it yourself in the ground the ground that's under you, but more or less just hearing it kind of rumble throughout the land outside of this area. Renarius, when it comes time to your watch, you don't hear it at all. And you don't hear it the entire time.
I don't think I heard it the entire flight.
Nope, you did not. So, good point.
Not even listening for it.
Good point. So yeah. Yeah, very, very quiet. All right, so yeah. Are we having I mean, I would say about this time it's starting to get morning. So dawn's starting to break by the time that you're done with your watch, Renarius.
I go back to sleep then.
Okay. All right. So, and Jurble, stays sleeping. I will say, Pixarin, since you're lying close to Jurble, and kind of in that mom mode with him, that you would probably be woken up by him talking in his sleep during the night and seeming a little distressed. But it would eventually die down, and he would kind of go back to sleep. All right, so y'all wake up the next morning. I would say by the time you wake up and you get your 8 hours in, it's probably around 9 a.m. at this time.
All right, I'll help Ren break camp. And I guess move on.
Okay. All right. So y'all know that moving, a little bit, north of where you are will get you, northeast will get you towards the Aurelius Empire.
Our horses survived, right?
Yeah.
Yes, your horses. Yes, your horses survived. Yeah. Yeah, they weren't able to really get over to them, so y'all kept them pretty occupied. Yeah, so y'all able to get on your horses and go northeast a bit. Let me pull up my notes here and see how long I had y'all going for. Yeah, so you have, after about 3 hours of traveling, you start seeing, I'd say about 2.5 hours of traveling, you start seeing a mountain range kind of split the valley up ahead. It looks like maybe there's a small town there on the very edge of the mountain range that's splitting the valley. So like right in between the two splits. But so, as you get closer and closer to it, you do see that you'll have to either go left or right. As you're traveling upon it, I would say to the left, you would be able to see that there's a lot of forest. To the right, it seems like it kind of goes off into another smaller valley. But it's unclear what's that way. You don't see really any thick forest. You just see some mountains, a little bit of valley, some green, and that's it. Can't really tell.
We don't see any floating city in the distance.
Yeah, any floating.
From this angle, let me just double check and see if you would be able to see that from here.
The big canyon, the big crevasse we just went over on the bridge, is that the big blue spike coming in on the right of the continent?
No.
Just checking.
No, that's
I didn't know quite where that was.
That's farther north than what.
Okay.
If you're looking at that spike, if you go towards the end of it and you look to the left, that's the mountain range that I'm talking about that splits the valley. So you have the forest to the left and you have the valley to the right.
Gotcha.
See, if y'all look for the flying city on the horizon, you can't really see it. There's a lot of mountain in the way. It looks like there's a couple of mountain ranges that might be in between you and any floating city you might be able to see, because you don't see one from here. As you get closer to this mountain range that splits the valley, you can start to see this town kind of come more clear into view. It doesn't look too big, bigger than Echo, but not so big that it's like a city. And it seems the buildings of the town seem to kind of go up the mountain a bit and kind of staircase up. And then it seems like on the top of, not really the top of the mountain, but towards the top of the mountain, kind of above all of these buildings, towards the top of the mountain, looks like a pretty large structure, a pretty large building that possibly looks like a church, or as you get closer, I would say you'd be able to tell it's a monastery. It might look like a monastery or a church type building. It has that kind of feel to it, at least from the outside of it.
And that town's to the
directly
right
in
of
front
mountains
of you.
or the left
Directly,
of mountains?
it's kind of like the valley splits. It's on that split, like it's right there on that mountain that's splitting the valley.
Got it.
So it's the first thing you come to before you have to make a left or a right.
Do we go into town? Do we have a reason to?
Well, I don't know how well did Jurble. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a bit rough, but we're going with the Scottish accent, I guess. Or something. Feeling a bit rough.
Jurble's accent is somewhere in the middle. Anyway,
yeah, it's somewhere over there.
Not gonna lie, but I don't know what this town is. So.
Yeah, because outside of character, our whole thing to remember, because I don't have my notes, we're trying to get to the Flying City because that's where the people are that could possibly help Jurble, right?
Yes, the Aurelius Empire. That's where Kalos told you that you should probably go to visit his healer friend there. That they have good healers and good.
So the Empire, when you refer to that as the Empire, it is the city is the Empire, or
the cities. Yeah, it's kind of the area.
Okay.
It's it's a very large city from what you would probably know or have heard in your life, Ren.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Jurble needs more. We need to focus on getting him help before we do anything. If anything, we can check out this town on the way back.
Yes, and we also need to get back to what's the name of Orc Baby Daddy?
Orc Baby Daddy? Jurheim?
Yeah. Jurheim.
We also need to get back to Jurheim.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
I love this history y'all built for yourselves. Where are y'all having this conversation, and opposed to how are you right there? Because the town starts, you would be able to see where this town starts going up, and the entrance to this town, I guess, is at the base of this mountain. So are you riding up to the town and having this conversation about where to go and what to do, or are you standing back?
I'd imagine we would see the town relatively before we were on its doorstep. So
oh, for sure. Yeah.
I would say this conversation's happening as we're getting closer on deciding what we want to do.
Okay.
So yeah, I say we push on. It seems like we have the option of potentially forest terrain or field terrain. I prefer the forest for covering, but we might move slower and not get there as quick. Thoughts?
This might be out of character, so maybe
you weren't stuttering, so I was assuming as much.
Well, would Renarius know anything about direction and stuff? We were told it was north and on the eastern coast.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
Would Renarius know that right means east for the most part?
Oh man. Well, you can definitely make a survival check, Renarius, to know.
Are we going in assuming that none of us know north, south, east, west?
That was a natural 20. I blew it on the stupid survival check.
You did a natural 20?
Yeah.
Renarius,
you definitely know.
As you're riding this horse and you're talking to Ren, he's asking you, do you have any idea? You suddenly just get hit with all of this, information from different classes you take, and from your parents talking to you about that they've traveled up in this area, and you're just oh well, so which way is which. That going right would be kind of going a little bit more towards the east, and that going left would be going more kind of almost straight north, as far as what you're seeing looking at it right now. Who knows how it turns and stuff up ahead of that, but as of right now, you would know that going right kind of will lead you more kind of east north, and then going to the left would go more north than anything.
I relay all of that.
If we go left, we'll go north. But if we go right, we'll go to the east. But I'm not quite sure what happens after we go each of those directions. Do you think we will be safer in the forest? I would think that if we go east, we'll be closer to the coast, and maybe less of a chance of being ambushed. I don't.
Sure. So they're all great advices.
Because normally I would say take the forest route for cover, but seeing as Jurble's not.
Yeah, I'm afraid it will slow us down too much.
And be a hard ride for him. So,
yeah,
let's just pass the village and head right. That's my thoughts.
agreed.
All right.
Pixon?
To the right, to the right.
All right.
Oh, I thought she was
Right.
typing to us. I was waiting for a response. Oh, she was.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Very good.
Giddy up.
Okay, so as y'all approach this town and go to the right, I will note that you do see some people kind of standing outside the town, like two people kind of in these long gray robes that are kind of standing there, and one of them will wave to you as you pass. Okay, so going to the right, let me pull up my notes again.
We see gray robes. Do they look like Fairweather gray robes?
No. I mean,
Great question.
if you're going to roll a perception check as you pass, I can
Might as well.
And see
sure.
if you can kind of get a
Natural 2.
Wow.
I got
So 8.
Okay.
I tied natural 2 for 7.
Wow. Yeah, y'all just have the horses are kind of galloping, and you're not
bouncy,
able to really
can't
get
quite
a
focus.
good. So you can just tell that someone's standing there and they might be waving, but that's it. Like, you can't really, even the color of the robe kind of, so y'all go to the right. So traveling to the right, it's not that bad at first. It's just a little bit more of a valley type area. You're kind of traveling against the mountainside there that, you kind of that split the valley before. And then eventually you come to as you get closer and closer, you start hearing what sounds like water rushing. And as you kind of you make a right kind of turn around, the mountain, and then kind of go to the left and go to the right again and travel this way for about, let's see here, about 2.5 hours. Before you start hearing this water rushing, and you kind of make that last kind of right turn, and immediately, almost very suddenly, you come face to face with a bridge that's crossing this raging river. Make perception checks for me again as you're looking at this.
Yeah, live. My dice stink. 13.
7.
12.
All right. So, Ren and Teagan, I would say that what did you get, Renerius?
7.
7. Yeah, Ren and Teagan, as y'all, I'm assuming, stop when you kind of come to this bridge. You kind of take a closer look at it, and it doesn't look like something you can just headlong gallop over, like you've been galloping through the fields. You will need to take a little bit of caution. The sides of the bridge are, it is wide enough to take your horse and to maybe even stay on your horse. It doesn't look too kept, however. I mean, it definitely looks crossable. But the sides of the bridge are rope. There's just a couple pieces of rope going from one end to the other. The boards that make up the bridge, it's kind of almost like one of those swinging bridges, but so there's no posts keeping it steady from one end to the other. It looks like it's just kind of staked into the ground. I mean, it looks sturdy. I'm probably describing that wrong, but it does look more like a swinging bridge than a really sturdy bridge, I guess is what I'm getting at. Yeah. This bridge goes across, let's see here. So many notes. Yeah, this bridge goes across, this river is probably going to say 50 feet wide. It's, a little bit of a distance, but not too much. On the other side, you see this very dense forest-like area, almost a little tropical. Definitely looks like a different type of greenery than what you've been passing for the last few hours traveling here.
So it's a 50-yard long bridge, is that what you said?
50, probably about 50 feet.
Feet. Okay, that's
Yes.
big. That's a big difference. Got it.
But it's big enough for. It looks like it's big enough for a horse.
It's wide enough to take your horse across. Yes, it just looks like you wouldn't want to. I mean, you could try to gallop across if you want to, but.
And looking north up the river, it's not like there's an easier, clearer place to pass over it later.
What did you roll before?
13.
13. No. There you don't see another bridge crossing over. You can tell if you kind of look down a bit. You can tell that the water, it's definitely rushing at a pretty good speed. There are small little waterfalls that kind of help it build momentum. And then to the far, I said left, but let me see here if that's right. Let me make sure I got my directions correct. Oh, yeah. No, that's wrong. You see, so it's going from left to right, the little waterfalls are, and it's gaining momentum to the right. And as it goes down towards the right, you can kind of see it. It almost looks like it drops off maybe into a larger waterfall, about 100 feet away. Maybe more. It's a ways down, but you can tell it drops off.
Seems like we need to cross here, so all at once or one at a time.
Are you sure it's safe? Are the horses even okay with this? I don't want my horse getting spooked on a bridge. I mean, that could go terribly wrong.
It could, but how many of us have ropes? I have a rope.
I have rope.
That's 2.
How big is your invisible floaty disky disc thing?
It's only it's 3 feet in diameter.
Couldn't hold a horse.
Excuse me.
I doubt a horse could stand on it.
I mean, we might as well see how strong the bridge is. So I'm gonna go walk out on the bridge.
Well, before you go, I was going to say, I was thinking more of 2 of us have ropes. So you go first. Someone who doesn't have a rope, tie. Do we have saddles on these horses or no?
I do have a rope, actually.
Yeah, I would say that you have a saddle.
How many horses do we have again? I forget that number.
You had enough for how many you have people you have, so 6.
Oof,
6.
That's a lot of horses.
So you go tie off to Picture's saddle. I'll go and tie off to maybe Jurble's saddle with Rhaenyra bringing up Rhaenyra, and then Rhaenyra uses his rope with Zephyr. So if anything happens, we have at least one of us is tethered to the other, so we can help whoever if something happens.
And the rope is 50 feet, right?
Right. So it's just going to be just.
Or the bridge. The bridge is 50 feet, right?
Yeah,
The bridge is 50 feet. My rope is. Let me look.
Yeah,
I think the
rope
rope's
is usually
50 feet.
50 feet.
Do you think that this rope is strong enough to hold a horse?
Maybe just attach it to each other.
Yeah.
Other than the horse.
Yeah, if the horse goes, the horse goes. I mean, there's nothing we can do. But yeah.
Sure.
If one of us falls in, at least we should have somebody else helping out and cover.
I tie a rope to myself.
I'll pull out my rope and tie it to myself as well. Toss the other half to Pixrin, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Don't worry, I'm really small, so if I fall, it's not a lot of weight on me. You gotta hold.
All right. So just like tie it around herself and.
All right, I'll tie mine to Jurble.
As she's tying it, I'll start slowly working across the bridge with my horse.
Okay.
And I'll tell Mags to wait at the edge of the bridge.
Okay. And is Zephyr tying his to yours, Renarius?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So you start out first, Ren, correct?
Yep.
With Pixern, I guess, right behind you. Right?
Not right behind.
Are the two of you going together, or how are you working this?
Well, because it's the 50-foot rope. I think the theory is to walk across. As I get most of the way across, she can start coming across.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll also kind of brace myself also with my legs and stuff, like just in case he falls.
Okay. Ren, as you start crossing this bridge on your horse, your horse starts to not necessarily, well, it's a little bit of a panic almost. It starts to kind of move its front feet. It's still trying to move forward, but it's very hesitant.
Yep.
And make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Wisdom saving throw. Got it. Believe in you, purple dice. Shazam. Oh yeah, 22.
Okay. All right. You start hearing these voices, kind of whirling around you. Like it sounds like it's coming from your right ear, your right side, and then your left side. You can't really understand if they're trying to say something, or if it's just like whispering, or even if it's just like a slight breeze that you feel, from going, or if it's the sound of the water rushing under you. But you do kind of feel strange. But your horse keeps going forward, so it's a little hesitant. But
pet its mane to make it
feel
a little calmer.
All right. And you get towards the other side, or close to the other side. And so then Silvera or Pixtron, will start across.
Yep.
All right.
I guess so.
So as you start across yourself, Pixtron, make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I got 24.
Okay. You feel,
Thank God for modifiers.
as you're starting to cross this bridge, you get about halfway and your horse rears back. Make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Whoa.
I'm the small one. I don't know if I can hold her if she fell.
Oh. I got a 22.
Okay.
I'm actually rolling good tonight.
I see
what
that.
The heck?
You're able to hold on to your horse, but it does rear back. It's definitely spooked. You also hear these kind of... Again, you can't, like I was telling Ren, you can't tell if it's the water beneath you or if it's like a slight breeze that you feel from the, from the rushing water. Or if it's a whispering that you can't quite make out what it's saying. But your horse is definitely not wanting to move forward.
Oh. Get.
I can't make horse sounds. I'm sorry. I didn't practice my horse sounds this evening. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's
not in the repertoire tonight.
So make an animal handling check if you're trying to get to move forward.
Yep, that's a 7.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, you try to get it to continue on. It is being very stubborn, and it's just almost starting to back up now.
Okay, she's gonna get off the horse and try to like pull on the reins a bit try and get the horse to move forward.
It goes, but very slowly. You are having to almost drag this horse across
Come on,
across the bridge. You can feel the bridge beneath you kind of swing a bit, since it is, it's not quite as grounded as most bridges are. But
I can go really slow.
Yeah. Okay, but you're able to get towards the other side very, very slowly. Who's next?
Before anybody else goes, I'll whistle to have Mags run across really quickly.
Okay. Yeah, she runs across to you. You see her, because I'm assuming that you'll probably keep your eyes on her as she comes across Rin. You'll see her kind of mid-bridge kind of stop, and the ears will perk a bit and kind of turn like it's trying to listen to something, but it will continue on to you and get right by your leg as it comes across.
Perfect.
Who's next?
I'm going to call across the bridge. Do you still think it's safe? I was afraid for you.
Yeah, it's safe. Sorry, I had a Spotify commercial in my ear at the same time. I got distracted.
Yeah, I'm gonna go across with the
She's
horse.
just like going like this.
All right. Okay, so
It's just like waiting.
Let us know if you hear voices. I'll yell across.
What?
Don't worry about it. You'll know.
Ran, you're not supposed to say that.
But I want him to be attentive.
Please tell me you were kidding, right?
Over.
Totally kidding.
Oh, okay, good. I don't often catch on to your jokes.
Zephyr from the horse behind you. Do you feel the need to conquer lands?
Whenever Renarius gets about a third of the way in, I'm gonna yell. I wasn't joking.
So as you start across Renarius, Zephyr will start to come across with you.
It's really okay, horse. You can do it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So make a wisdom saving throw for me, Renarius, as you start across.
20.
Okay. All right. So you get.
We're doing fine, horse. It's okay, horse.
Get about halfway across the bridge, and your horse reacts similarly to how Pixarin's horse reacted. It bucks back. Make a. You can either make a dexterity saving throw to try and get off the horse, or you can try to make a strength check to try and hold on to the horse as it rears back. Oh man.
I guess Dex.
Okay.
That is a 21.
All right. So you're able to, you kind of are able to jump off of the horse, as it's rearing back and kind of buckling and just refusing to move forward, and it starts even to back up and kind of almost backs up into Zephyr's horse, whose horse also rears, and they're both just kind of like in this deadlock on the bridge and kind of tramping back and forth. Now, I do remind you that there are no real edges of the bridge. My cat's putting its paws under the door. There are no real edges of the bridge. It's just ropes. So these horses, are kind of like, tramping back and forth into each other. Zephyr's horse starts to, like, as it's trying to, like, back up, one of its hooves doesn't quite hit the bridge. It tries to step almost off of the bridge. And so the horse stumbles and gets caught up against the rope, almost falling off. How would you like to react?
My horse isn't going. So Zephyr's horse is the problem right now, sort
Yeah,
of?
Zephyr's horse. Well, your horse was buckling. It wasn't moving forward. It started moving backwards, which it kind of like stepped into Zephyr's horse because he came not too far behind you. He didn't stay behind like Pixrin did. As it backed up, yeah, its hoof went off of the bridge and it's starting to kind of like tumble halfway off the bridge, but the ropes are kind of like holding it back from doing so.
So it's not actively falling. It's just
I mean, it's two ropes.
Okay. I am going to cast Levitate on Zephyr preemptively.
Okay.
So if the horse goes, he won't.
Wonderful. Okay, so you cast Levitate on Zephyr, which, so the rest of you see Zephyr, let's see here. So he raises vertically. Now, do you say how much he raises, or does he go up to 20 feet automatically?
It's just cast on him. I'm not moving him off the horse yet.
Okay, so so you cast Levitate on him. Yeah, let me see if Zephyr tries to get... Okay, so actually Zephyr is able to get off of the horse. Okay. But the horse is still almost falling into the river.
But I'm between my horse and his horse, yes?
Yes.
So... is the best course of action to get my horse out of the way. I don't have anything that could move a horse. I'm going to try and pull the horse, I guess.
Okay, make a strength check. Zephyr tries to pull the horse up, to keep it on the bridge as well, and isn't doing a very good job. In fact, Zephyr
20.
almost just kind of falls over. You said you got 20?
Yes.
Okay. You are able to kind of guide the horse back onto the bridge. It's able to kind of get its footing back on the wood planks. So yeah, they're still very hesitant about going across, though. They are not going across this bridge.
I want to cast Minor Illusion on the other side of the bridge.
Okay.
And I want it to be the most delicious looking pile of carrots those horses have ever seen.
Oh my god.
You can eat over there. Look, go ahead. There's carrots.
Okay, so your horse, Rhaenyra, kind of starts slowly, going towards the other side of the bridge now. Zephyr's horse is still almost, I mean, it's backed up so much it's almost back at the beginning of, it's back at the beginning of the bridge where you started.
So my horse goes all the way across, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to try and point out pile of carrots to his horse as well.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
14.
Okay.
Look at the carrots. They're yummy and delicious.
Okay. Zephyr, is trying to help you with your convincing. And with the two of you, you're able to convince the horse to start towards the other side, towards the invisible carrots. Now, of course, once they get to the other side, they're a little ticked off that there are no actual carrots there. I mean, come on. But they are safely on the other side now.
I'm sorry, horse friends.
All right. So.
All right.
Teagan.
I will check in with Jurble. You okay? You ready to do this?
Let's go.
All right.
Are you going first, Teagan?
No, I'm going to let Jurble go first.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I've been watching Jurble.
All right. So Jurble starts across, and Teagan, you're kind of staying back like Pixrin did to kind of until it gets closer to the other side. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Jurble starts across the bridge. Oh man. The horse starts bucking. These horses are not rolling very well tonight. The horse starts bucking and rears back. But before that happens, you kind of notice that, Teagan, as you're watching them pretty closely, and you too, Rhaenyra, you see Jurble's face suddenly become very panicked. And he looks from one side of the bridge, one side as far as where the ropes are, looks from the left to the right and to the left again. And just before, or just as the horse is starting to buck and to rear back, Jurble gets off his horse and starts towards the side of the bridge. It starts towards the water, the edge.
I will get off my horse and run to Jurble.
Make a wisdom saving throw, Teagan.
Of course. Wisdom. 15, 13 plus 2.
Okay. Teagan, you start towards Jurble, and you get within a couple of feet of him. So you're almost dead center in this bridge, and you feel the sudden chill hit you, and you start hearing these light voices in your ear. Jump off the bridge. Go for it. They're going to attack us. They're going to kill us. You need to go. You need to get off this bridge. They're not going to show us any mercy. You have to go now. And you believe them. There is a part of you that is trying to fight it, but you do find yourself taking a step towards the edge as well. What are the rest of you going to do? So the rest of you see Jurble getting off the horse. The horse is backing up back to where it started, like at the other side of the from where y'all are, to the other side of the bridge where you started. Jurble is taking a step towards and kind of almost at the very edge of this leading down to the water. Again, there's just 2 ropes there. One probably with Jurble probably coming at his lower chest level, and then the other one probably at his mid thigh. And as Teagan quickly gets off his horse and starts, as soon as he sees Jurble getting off and start towards that edge, gets off his horse and comes towards him, you see Teagan's face change. And Rhaenyra, is just like you noticed in Jurble, you see Teagan's face change, and he immediately stops. And you see this panicked look in his eye before he takes a step towards the edge as well.
That's not the way you should be going. Hello, this way.
What's the matter with him? What? Hey! Over here! What's the matter with him?
What are their horses doing?
Teagan's horse is staying at where he left it, which was behind Jurble's. But Jurble's is trying to like back up towards where they started.
And Teagan and Jurble are ahead of them?
Yes, because Jurble got off his horse in the middle of the bridge, and his horse started backing up, trying to get away from whatever it was hearing.
How far out on the bridge are they?
They're about halfway, so about 25 feet.
Oh, what I want to do is, I'm assuming we're calling out to them and we're not seeing them respond to us, right?
Yes, correct. Teagan, you can hear them, but as much as you want to listen to them and turn towards them, there's just something. Maybe you should listen to the voices.
I got a crazy idea. Just picture and get ready to pull. and I'm gonna run out on the bridge. I'm like jumping off my horse, running onto the bridge, and I want to grab their rope, like just somewhere the looseness of the rope, and then start running back towards our side and just pull them, and maybe that will get them out of it at least. Or if they do jump, we at least then have the rope.
Okay. All right. I would say make a I'll just have you make a strength check since it wouldn't be too hard to grab the rope.
Strength. 10.
Okay. So you're able to get to the middle and grab this rope and start towards, where Pixtrin and Renerius are and your horses. And I guess also Zephyr and Zephyr. And you're trying to pull them, and it's Jurble especially, and Teagan, but yeah.
Picture and pull me, and then I'll also whistle for Mags to come help me.
Okay.
Yep.
So make a strength check. So Pixtrin.
I'm gonna take my rope off of me, and hopefully Zephyr's takes his off of him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask Zephyr to tie it to the horse because I really want to be concentrating on what's happening on the bridge.
Okay. Zephyr ties the rope to the horse. And go ahead.
Toss it out. I was just gonna have Zephyr toss it out to them.
Okay, so toss the end that's not tied onto the horse out to them. Okay. All right, so he will do that. So you have this other rope that's tied to the horse that's coming out to you. That's that's going out there. Are you tossing it towards Teagan and Jurble, Renerius?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanna, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's see here. All right. So Zephyr, after he does that, he starts helping Ren and is able to get some more strength in there. Teagan, make another wisdom saving throw for me, please.
14 and 2, 16.
Okay. All right. You're looking over the side here, and this is starting to seem like a bad idea. It does sound convincing. Maybe this is the only way out, but I also, you kind of look to your right and see, the others, and you're like, wait a minute, I think I'm supposed to be doing something here. And so you start to kind of slowly come to. Jurble, however, starts to take a step off of the bridge.
I'm going to slap a Jurble really hard.
Wait. So he's stepping off of the bridge.
I'm going first.
An extra push.
No, I'm going to try to pull him back first.
Okay.
And then...
So make a strength check. You also feel the rope pulling pretty tightly against you as the rest of them are pulling on the rope and doing so pretty well. So I'll let you make your strength check first.
19.
Okay.
-1, which is 18.
So Teagan, you give a quick pull back. And just as you do that, or right after you do that, you feel the pull from the others and almost just feel this jerk kind of jerking you into their direction. You have separated yourself from this delusion enough to where you can kind of start and kind of, keep helping, or start helping them and get Jurble across. As you get Jurble to the other side, he is struggling against you, Teagan. Like, he is trying to get back to the bridge.
I will slap him really hard.
All right, make a strength check.
Strength? Okay.
Well, I mean, what else? Do you have something else to do?
Slap? I'm not like trying to knock him out.
Okay. All right.
12 minus 1, 11.
I guess, how about this? How about make a persuasion check?
Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Pick up that one. Persuasion. Okay. 17 plus 1, 18.
Okay. So you slap, you kind of pull Jurble and kind of get him by the shoulders to kind of look and slap him in the face.
Slap out of it, man. It's not real.
He blinks a few times and looks at you, Teagan, and just looks so confused, but also looks more like himself. What was that?
And the voices, wasn't it?
Some sort of enchanted or cursed bridge or waters. I don't know. And
Teagan, since you kind of felt susceptible to it, you can still hear those voices coming from behind you from the bridge. Still kind of that distant whispering. Wasn't as loud as it was before, but just this distant whispering, but you don't feel compelled to do anything.
So I'll just sort of back up from the bridge a little bit.
That was something.
Yeah, I think we're going through the forest on the way back.
All right, man. Y'all made it across there.
Man alive. I thought in my head, I was like, we can't make this bridge crossing thing a bigger deal than it's going to be, like we do with some other little tiny minute things. And then it still ends up being a huge thing.
Okay, so...
We still have horses on the other side, though.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. So do you want to try and get your horses across?
Wait, what do you mean we have horses on the other side? I thought we all came across our horses.
You still have Teagan and Jurble's horse that were
we both got off our horses, yes, because of the voices.
So what do you want to do with that, Teagan? Because the horses are still over there. They're just kind of... They seem calmer, but they're also not on the bridge. They're on the other side where you guys... Before you started crossing.
I cast carrots.
You cast carrots again?
Floating carrots.
Oh, man. So... Yeah, okay. All right. Oof. All right, so one of them starts across towards the carrots. I'll say that one gets across. You still have one on the other side, though, that doesn't seem enticed by the carrots.
And good riddance.
Go home.
Does anybody have any actual real food? No, I don't know if it's going to work.
We have lots of rope. We could forcefully drag it across.
True, but then we have to cross it again too.
Yeah.
Unless anyone could maybe throw a lasso. Hang on a second. I'm going to summon my owl.
Okay.
And have it bring... If we tie all our ropes together, it can bring the ropes across and hopefully just drop it on the horse.
Okay. All
right.
We
only need two ropes. We'll make it.
So who's tying the knot for the lasso?
I don't know if I'm good enough at that. But if no one's stepping up, I'll go for it.
Okay. All right. Make an intelligence check for me, Ren.
Sure.
And if you know how to tie a good knot.
Intelligence. Here we go. Good old +0 modifier.
Yes.
Oh, he's a ranger, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
4.
Boy Scouts of...
He's a Boy Scout. He knows how to make all kinds of knots.
Of course.
Give me advantage on that.
Okay, good.
Throw another one first.
Heavy.
How about 19?
Okay,
there
that's better.
We go.
All right, so Ren looks pretty confident when he's tying this lasso. You hand it over to the owl, who takes it across, drops it over the horse's neck, yeah. So y'all going to try and pull it across?
Gently. The more if you pull hard, he's going to buck.
But if he falls on the ground, we just drag him. Okay. But yes, gently across.
The horse gets halfway across and starts to buckle again. against these voices that it's hearing. Kind of refuses to move.
I'm gonna walk out to where it is, following the rope.
Okay.
And kind of try and just calm it.
Okay.
And whisper sweet nothings to it.
All right.
And try and slowly walk it off the bridge again.
So you're going halfway across the bridge, correct? To the horse?
Yes.
Okay. Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Here we go. Is this considered magic? Because I have advantage on wisdom saves over magic.
No.
Oh, come on. Wisdom. 18.
Okay. You still did good. Now make an animal handling check.
Oh, man. 20.
Okay. Yeah, Ren, horse whisperer Ren walks halfway across this bridge and just, the rest of you kind of watch him closely thinking, oh, the voice, is he going to get, hear these voices? What's going to happen? He just walks steadily out there, puts his hand on the side of the horse's face, and guides the horse back over to y'all. Yeah. And so now everyone's across. Congratulations.
High fives, everyone.
Good lord.
I think I'm more afraid of bridges now than I was before.
Can we never do that again?
Nope.
Don't listen to me for directions.
I need to clip every time Silverin has said that in the campaign. Can we not do that again? Because I feel like she said it a lot.
I didn't realize that until now. Ever.
I think that's a good Zephyr phrase.
Can we just burn that bridge?
Burn the bridge.
A bonfire.
Okay, all right. Well, we will actually. It's about 5 minutes early, but we'll go and take that point to take our bio break. So for those watching, we take an 8 to 10 minute bio break. So stay tuned, and we will BRB. All right. Well, as soon as I get that little BRB.
TTYL.
There we go. Here we go. There we go.
Cover paper for my camera. So
Oh no! Just gotta.
Can't spy on you.
Looks like a diary.
Ooh, can we read it?
Can we put it into focus, please?
It's just my, what you were seeing is some notes from at some point.
Oh, sure.
I also have video game stuff in here.
Nice.
It's my gaming notebook.
Oh, God. Okay.
Sorry, Chad.
DM petting her own Mr. Picklesworth.
Yes.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
That river looks like it'd be fun to swim in.
You could have definitely tried to swim in it, sure.
Is the river we just went over the big
spike?
Spike of
Yes.
water?
Mhm.
Okay. Just confirming.
Randy's official cartographer.
I just like knowing where we are.
Of course, if we had stopped in the village, they would have said, "Oh yeah, there's a cursed bridge on the right." All you have to do is say "bippity bippity bop" and you're fine.
Why do you think you put that village there?
I don't know, for a cult to try to capture us, sacrifice us to their mountain
side quest.
for a mountain god.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Paranoia runs deep in
I was
Denver
like, okay.
streams.
I was like, okay, you're not going to stop at the town. That's fine. All right, cool. Cool. No, I get it. Completely understandable.
I mean, we just can never do the right thing. She puts things in front of us, and then we follow it. And she's like, "Why did you guys follow that trail?" Then we're like, "Okay, well, we won't follow this thing." And she's like, "Well, why didn't you do the thing that was right in front of us?" Okay.
Well, you make a valid point, Zach. You make a valid point. Oh my gosh.
Or maybe it's all after the fact. Maybe any choice we make, there was always a better decision, no matter what it was.
I was totally going to have you have a cool dream run yours, and I completely forgot.
Oh, whoops.
I guess there's time.
Don't worry, we'll long rest again in like 3 sessions, so it's fine.
Great. Great. Underground? What? Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, I have like not a lot written down for this, and that's fine. That's okay. That's alright. It's just a huge city. It's okay. This is fun. What? I said when I open the door, you're not going to go out, are you? You're just going to stand there. I think you're just going to keep that open all the time. Well, you're wrong, mister. Yeah, see? Listen.
Oh.
Listen. He got his shots today.
Oh.
Why did... You're making this impossible. Oh, shoot. Oof. Listen. Listen. No. 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 Nope, sir. Okay, fine, go. He's in a biting stage.
Oh.
I looked it up, and apparently it's normal at like 4 months, so. Alright, we'll give... I guess it's been about 2 minutes. We'll give that 2 minutes to get in. Alright. A lot here, but... No, actually, there's not that much. Okay. Alright. Alright. You guys are progressing a little bit quicker than what I thought, but that's cool.
Yeah, we were supposed to spend a half session in the village.
Maybe not a half session, but, you know, a half hour.
If we went into the village, we would have had some sweet rolls.
Oh yeah, it would have taken time. It would have taken time. I actually didn't flesh out the village too much because I knew it was like, they might not, they might just like go in, ask for like directions or something and then leave. Or they might want to get sweet rolls and stay the night. I don't know. Like, who knows?
Totally missed the shop that had cursed bridge
Somebody say sweet
talismans.
rolls.
There you are. We knew.
There we are.
Closing the door, Justice. You're stuck in here for another hour and a half. Hope you're happy. Okay.
Stay and be happy.
Stay and be happy, cat. Let's start getting wild here in
Stuck
about.
here for another hour and a half.
Let's start getting wild here in about another half hour. That's playtime. Past midnight.
Always. And run around the house time at like 1, 2 o'clock.
For
in the
no
morning.
reason. For no reason. Just run back and forth.
Yep. Hunting
Never
imaginary
understood why
mice.
cats do that. Never.
Alright.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. Alright. So let me bring this up here. We were going live in 3, 2, 1. Alright, we're back. Hey, what's up?
Hi, y'all.
So, where we left off before break is y'all just got to the other side of the bridge. As I said, on the other side, and especially now that you're there, you can see that the forest, well, not really like tropical, but it is a little bit, it's definitely a different vegetation than what you've been seeing coming from, say, Bornheim and Fairweather and Mossvale. And even the vegetation that you saw around the border, it looks different from that. More kind of leafy, large leaved kind of trees, bushes, definitely more vegetation here. So yeah, you can't really see like exactly, specifically what's ahead, but you do have a main road kind of going through the forest there, a path going through the forest. It looks like it's been well traveled. Surprisingly, according to this bridge, I mean, it's kind of surprising that a bridge like this hasn't been kept up more, but, you know, who knows? It's kind of in a weird place to where probably you kind of figure that everyone kind of considers it everyone else's problem. Like, this kingdom is like, well, that's the town's problem. Well, that's Aurelius Empire's problem. Whatever. Yeah, so y'all are just kind of getting on your horses and keep going kind of northeast.
Yep.
Might as well, yeah.
All right, cool beans. Okay, so, as
always looking around to see if there's a floating city somewhere.
Sure.
Look off in the distance.
You do, like, as you're traveling kind of, you know, on this road, you do see kind of a, even through the vegetation, you can see kind of a mountain range in the distance. And you do kind of maybe see something peeking up at the top of that. That doesn't look like the mountain itself, but it's kind of hard to tell from here. Especially with, you know, the sun in the sky and the clouds and that sort of thing. So traveling into this lush vegetation for about 20, well, let's see, on horseback, so it'll be less than that. It's probably like 10 minutes, just that. You'll kind of start looking around and start seeing the vegetation nestled within the vegetation are remnants of buildings. If you kind of slow down and take a close, you know, kind of look at it a little bit without galloping forward.
What do you need?
You can see that
Go up to her.
there are some buildings out of cobblestone that are kind of reduced to rubble. Some wooden structures that there's really only there's some wood kind of like rubbled on the floor, but it's mostly just the foundation that's left. And the vegetation that's around this area, while still full, it looks like more newer vegetation than what you're seeing elsewhere. So it looks like it's recently grown back within the last, 10-ish years or more than that. But it definitely doesn't look as old and as aged as the other vegetation that you've seen thus far in this area. But yeah, you see these remnants of buildings to your left, to your right, kind of going for almost on a horseback, probably like 5 minutes. So it seems like a long line of these kind of ruined buildings. And on some of the cobblestone, again, if you slow down and kind of are paying attention a little bit closer, some of the cobblestone on these cobblestone buildings that just have rubble left, the cobblestone looks singed, almost blackened.
Fire here?
Looks like it.
Looks like it was burned. Picture's gonna look off in the distance, kind of squint just a little bit. Hey, what's those big rocks up there in the distance? What's that?
I don't
I've
know.
never seen mountains before.
I was like, the rocks.
Rocks.
Just big rocks.
Big rocks. big rocks.
As y'all continue traveling, you start, this kind of lush vegetation starts thinning out, and you start coming across a little bit more farmlands. You see some houses scattered here and there. You start kind of going, let's see here. You start going start kind of coming out more into clearing area. And you start seeing, as I said, like the houses here and there with the large spanning farmlands, some workers out in the fields. You might pass a cart, kind of going, past a couple of crossroads that are smaller roads, not main roads, have a cart passing over from one farmland to the next across this main road. And you'll have that for about the next, I would say, hour. And then to your right, this kind of like smaller mountainside starts lowering down, and the main road starts kind of turning to the right around the edge of it. And as you make that kind of right turn, you start seeing the shore, you start seeing like the absence of things in the distance, which kind of signals to you that it's like a shoreline. You don't see any mountains, you don't see any trees. It just kind of like goes off into nothing, but you can't quite see the water yet. But as you travel a few more miles, you start seeing kind of the ocean and the shoreline in the distance. And start seeing some like pieces of land like far off in the distance, but it's a little hazy. And as you make that right around that corner of the mountain, you make the right turn, and it's still kind of far off, but you see the floating city and the city beneath it. And this one, y'all have seen like, I guess the only other floating city y'all have seen is Bern. So
too soon. Don't bring it up.
This one, God.
But you were just.
I know. This one definitely looks different than Bern, even from this distance. You can kind of see almost like a pillar kind of going from the bottom part of the city to the floating part of the city, kind of right in the center. Almost from this distance, it almost looks like it's like holding it up. Like it's resting on top of this like really like tall pillar that's going several feet into the sky. It's about the same height as Bern, which I think I said was 1,000 feet. I think so. But the city is definitely larger than Bern, probably 4 times as large. 2,000. Okay, thank you, Zach. Probably about 4 times as large as Bern. You see these kind of taller buildings that are rising on top of the city, in the floating part of the city. And also in the bottom city, it looks the bottom part of the city, while not as magical as seeing this floating part of the city above it, it still looks just covers a lot of land. You can see a port. You can see it kind of goes over to the shoreline area for a very sizable port. You can see like some even houses that are kind of like a little bit, because there's this mountainside that's like right, like you're looking at the city. You have the shore to the left, the ocean to the left, quite several feet away from it. But again, they still have connected it to the city in a way. And then to the right of the Aurelius Empire, the city, you have the mountainside kind of going up. So kind of similar to the other cities that you've seen in Osbergen, because you have a lot of mountains in this area. And it just looks majestic. The sun is hitting it just right and kind of like almost kind of right behind it, where you get that kind of gleam off the buildings, and it looks like a light. It looks like the city is glowing. You get the sparkle off of the water to your left. A very interesting and beautiful and spectacular sight that you really haven't seen before.
That looks beautiful. It's too bad they're actively draining mages.
Well, maybe it's just on that pillar. Maybe they're not doing the same thing.
They may not be doing that. They might be doing something else.
But if they are, we will crush it. Maybe not.
Wow.
Pixar's gonna give Teagan and Ren like this weird look when they say, "Oh, maybe it's not," and then be like, "Yeah." So when Ren's like, "Crush it."
This is when the Forsaken turned evil. This is the turning point. As y'all are traveling on your horses, and it's just been a very easy ride the past couple of hours.
My butt hurts.
Suddenly you feel a change in the air.
Because her butt hurts?
No.
Her butter? Oh, that's because she rose up out of her.
Coincidental.
I am not breaking wind, guys.
Pixarin's like, my butt hurts. But while this is happening, you start feeling like this change in the air. And Rhaenyra's... Oh... You start feeling very, very uneasy. And suddenly, it feels like even though you're out in the open and you're not inside anywhere, I mean, this is for all of you, it almost feels like suddenly, like within a moment, the air is sucked out from around you and you feel this drop in your stomach. And with all of you kind of, you're kind of dealing with this instantaneously. This is all happening at the same time, and you blink. And you're suddenly not where you were. You can see the shore, but the shore looks closer. Like, it looks like, looking around, like, just in this moment, you feel this drop in the stomach, you feel this air being sucked out, and all of a sudden you almost feel like you blink and you're somewhere else. And it feels like you've only been displaced maybe by feet. And then you hear distant screaming. And
probably, I'm assuming not screams of joy.
No, and they're very far off in the distance. It's very, very far off. And as a couple of you look up, you see that the city that you saw just a few moments ago, and that floating portion that looked like it was just balancing on top of that pillar, is tilting. And the middle pillar begins to bend a bit. And you see one of the larger buildings on top start to break off and tumble down to the ground.
But just a moment ago, it looked like serene and perfect?
Yes. And you can see kind of different little things kind of falling off of it as the city is just barely tilting.
Did I miss something? Were we in that city?
We had nothing to do with that, right?
And then suddenly, the city kind of barely, it's not as straight as it was. It's not as perfect and the side of perfection as it was just a few moments ago. But it kind of goes back a bit. You still... It still feels weird. Like you feel off. It feels like, maybe at some point in your lives you've like accidentally slept through almost a full day, and you wake up like 24 hours later when you only meant to sleep like 8 hours, and you woke up 24 hours later and you're like, wait, what is happening? It feels similar to that, but I just kind of have this kind of like anxiety kind of building within you.
Awesome.
Yeah, me so.
Are you guys sure we were in that city?
We were not in that city.
I don't think so.
Based on this internal narrator I have in my brain that's explaining things around us as things happen, I think we might have just experienced one of those time shifty skips that what's his name told us about. That was a possible side effect of our coming back from Den Glimt or something, or it was the key thing or whatever. There's.
But I thought that was only with the other artifact is could it be with ours?
I don't remember because I don't have my notes, so I don't know the details.
Y'all make make intelligence saving throws for me.
Saving throw.
Is this magic?
I rolled a 2,
I don't
but
know.
I'm
Is
feeling
it magic? No, it's not magic. No,
Okay,
well, I
just
mean,
checking.
well,
go.
no, not really.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
15.
I got a 7.
Okay.
14 plus 3, 17.
Okay. Oh, wait, let me see.
Picture's just like
Okay,
Jurble,
wow.
yeah.
lowly humming,
Okay.
singing to herself
So-
because she's like nervous.
Everyone except Pixrin and Zephyr. Jurble rolled a 20.
Wow.
The rest of you, you kind of, along with this awe feeling that you have, things have changed. You kind of, a few things seem different in your mind. You remember your trip so far. You remember Bairn. You remember Bornheim. But remembering Bornheim, you remember meeting the king, Anselm.
Wait, all of us remember that?
Yes.
Well,
Well,
except
everyone
for
except for
Zephyr and
Pixrin and Zephyr. The rest of you.
So trying to explain this to her would be very confusing.
Well, I mean, of course, Zephyr wouldn't remember it anyways because he wasn't there. But, yeah, so everyone except Pixrin, you remember meeting the king in Bornheim. And you remember Bornheim kind of thriving. I mean, it wasn't floating, but it was, there were people there. Like, it was a thriving city, which seems to just seem wrong compared to what you thought it was, but surely that's what you remember?
Is it that we do remember what it was before, but now it feels strange, or is it like that knowledge now feels like almost like a weird dream we had that doesn't feel real?
Yeah. Like what you knew before as Bornheim being, what you guys saw it as before when it was, half everyone was gone. It was just Lady Anselm and Jurheim, and Lady Anselm was sacrificing, and it seems like a dream that you had, but your memories are telling you can remember seeing and meeting King Anselm and his, this kind of very stately but almost rugged man, and how happy Lady Anselm was with him. You remember Jurheim. In fact, you also remember Jurheim going with you to Bairn.
Anybody else feel weird?
I feel weird.
I also feel weird.
I look weird. Wait, what are we talking about?
Pixrin, tell us about Lady Anselm in Bornheim.
Yeah, we met her. She was pregnant and met what's her name? Or the king was like dead or something. Or all, yeah. Why? What's up?
That's what I remember remembering, but now I don't remember that anymore.
But I also remember meeting him.
Mean who?
The king.
Pixrin, as you're searching, you remember all of this, but as you're thinking more and more on it, it seems to, what you just said, the memories that you just told them are seeming to just become fuzzier and fuzzier, and you start to remember, it's almost like it's being penciled in, meeting King, the king of Bornheim, and you thought that he was handsome, but you remember seeing Lady Anselm be as happy as she was, and how that kind of made you happy to see her happy for once. And you remember, yeah, you still remember seeing Jurheim. Remember Jurheim actually, wait, did he go with you to Bern? Huh.
King was really cute.
I'm not sure. Wait,
what?
But understand it correctly, the tower is now sturdy again.
The tower,
like it was leaning and then it came back.
The kind of the pedestal part in the middle.
The
pedestal part in the middle.
The I-beam in the middle
is looking a little bent.
It's natural.
I know.
Sometimes it happens.
The top part of the city, like the floating part that kind of almost looked like before, perfectly sitting on top of it. That's what you saw tilt, and you saw some kind of pieces fall off to the city below. But then it seemed like it kind of started to kind of right itself again. It doesn't look as perfect as it did, but it looks like something. But it's
more
almost
stable than it was a second ago.
It looks like something has stabilized it. You don't hear the screaming in the distance. You only heard it kind of that one moment when everything started going haywire.
Okay, question with our memory twist. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Bornheim was doing great.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So then do we have a memory of it being overrun by bugbears?
That's really fuzzy.
Is Jurble still really sick?
Jurble is still sick. Yes, he still looks like, I mean, if you look back at him, he's still kind of like holding his side.
Do we still remember why we were going to this city?
Yes, you're going to help Jurble with his sickness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure that's clear in our brains, so it's not like we're like dumbstruck. Like, why are we going?
Yeah,
here?
no. You still remember why you're going to the city. The town, Bornheim being overrun by bugbears, is a little fuzzy. You remember going to Echo, but you remember talking to Aneta and meeting her family. But that's it.
Teagan's going to think about this, and he's going to clutch his pendant, and he's going to say, "It's time to call a friend."
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, you're not even sure that you met Wineta's family in Echo. Maybe it was Fairweather. Maybe it was Bornheim.
I'm going to contact Aurelius and see if he answers, if his cell phone picks up.
Okay, all right. For a moment, I was like, "What?"
You know what? I'm grabbing my pendant.
Okay, all right, cool. All right. I mean, you have to like start it off with something, else
Aurelius,
no.
We just had a very weird thing happen.
Oh, it's you.
It's Teagan.
Great.
And friends.
Vixen gets off her horse and starts stretching her legs and everything, and just.
Glad to hear from all of you. Geneva, it's our friends. Could you give me a pen and paper? They sound a little worried. Okay, thank you.
This guy.
It's a good thing he's paying us.
This guy.
Teagan's had this thought, so he's going to say it. He's going to.
Thank you. Yes, Teagan. How can I help you?
What are the after effects of someone using the artifact?
Y'all have sweet rolls?
We do have sweet rolls. In fact, could you give me another sweet? Thank you, Geneva. Using the artifact, Teagan. I'm sorry. You mean so? Which So you're talking about the artifact, the time devices, correct?
Yes. We're standing here. We're close to.
But we haven't used one of those.
We're standing close to the air. But I know someone who may have.
Okay.
Near the Aurelius Empire, and we all sort of had a weird feeling effect came over us, like time shifted, and our memories seem a little fuzzy, like they've been, like things we remember. We're not uncertain of our memories that we used to remember, and now, as we approached the Aurelius Empire, it was floating on a pedestal, and it seemed to suddenly lose stability.
Oh.
And severely tilt to one side and then correct itself. Something happened. Something that had a big pull of something. Arcana, magic, I'm guessing, but something definitely just happened.
Geneva, could you... one moment, Teagan, please. I can hear him
Certainly.
kind of talking in the background to Geneva. You kind of pick up a little bit something about Bornheim and the king.
Yeah, do you remember Bornheim being overthrown by bugbears ever?
No, I remember the king of Bornheim. That doesn't Geneva. Could you grab my journals, please? Thank you. Yes, the magenta one. Thank you. Yes, that is alarming. I'm just having Geneva grab a journal. I write down things that happen. Sometimes I can remember.
Good practice.
The Osbergen one? Thank you. Oh, it's not magenta. It's blue. Okay. And you hear him kind of flip through.
The eye rolling and finger tapping out of Teagan is off the charts.
You're gonna flip through. Oh no, that's not it. That's too far back. That's right. Oh, is this? No. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh.
Do you want to use words and make sentences? That'd be great.
Oh, yes. I'm. Apologies. I had to double check my notes, but you're right. The king died, but I remember. I don't. This isn't.
But you don't remember writing that.
No.
Do your books time travel?
Silly books can't do that.
Not really sure.
Well, he apparently wrote something in a book that he didn't write, but it speaks of a memory we have that feels like a dream.
Well,
didn't Kazoo's dad had like a. He also wrote and.
He thought he had an artifact, but he wasn't sure if he had the right one. I'm thinking of Lady
Gisera.
I'm thinking of Lady Gisera, supposedly.
My journals are magically protected, so writing something in them should keep it protected. But yeah, if this is correct and my notes haven't been taken and replaced by imposters,
I doubt that happens.
It's possible, though.
Teagan, we need to. I have stories, Teagan. Then you're right. Something has shifted. Geneva, we need to get a meeting. We need to talk to the library. Yes, this is important. Could you? Thank you.
A meeting is not doesn't solve anything. No, anyway.
So, Teagan, you are correct. Something's amiss. I don't know. I mean, other than just report in if you see any more inconsistencies. You're my only people in Osbergen right now. So you are my eyes and ears there.
Aurelius, our dimension isn't like blinking out of his existence, is it?
Well, I mean, I could put you on hold and go and check.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Do that because I want to ask Rhaenyra something. So while you go do that, I'll
all
check
right.
with Rhaenyra.
The line will be open.
Please hold.
So just and just keep talking. And he's
Rhaenyra,
as far as you know, he's gone.
Teagan feels like he's on a roll. Rhaenyra, you have that sending stone for Jurheim?
Was I the one who had it?
Who had the sending stone for Jurheim? Oh,
please
Red.
hold. I might have it, but I think I gave it. Let me double check. It's somewhere
Somebody got a sending stone for Jurheim.
Yeah, I got a sending stone.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I have her here.
No.
Jurheim's sending stone.
You go and look for the sending stone. It's not there.
Oh, blast it all. I don't have it. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never had a sending stone from Jurheim.
You remember meeting Jurheim in the cave?
Fuzzy.
Maybe. Something. I don't know.
Is my spell book intact?
Do I still have, if I don't see, I wouldn't know to look anyway. It doesn't matter.
Johnson?
What?
Johnson?
Johnson.
Oh, Jocelyn.
Johnson. Oh,
I mean,
Johnson.
You still
This is
remember
like a little kid.
You still
It's just
remember
like,
Jocelyn. I mean, yeah.
She could die happy.
Yeah, everything about Jocelyn is still intact, yes.
Do I remember the details of because where we left him and stuff like that?
Of Jocelyn in
like
Relesque?
the city.
Yeah, Relesque.
The
Your
actual city.
memories of Relesque are intact.
What about Baron? Like Baron's still like a crumbling pile of stupid?
You remember Baron going down.
All right.
You remember, as you said, you remember Jurheim going with you, but you don't remember seeing him after the city went, like when the city was going, after y'all did what you did.
I don't remember that. We don't. That's fuzzy.
Do I remember Rinka and everything in Fairweather?
Yes.
I'm gonna look. Do I still have Rinka's sending stone then?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Regina could be alive.
Quickly, let's all go to Baron.
Are my post Baron memories, visions, whatever intact?
Gosh.
Good question.
I mean, here's the thing. Mostly everything's intact. As far as I can think, except if it deals with Bornheim or Echo. You still went to Echo. But you don't remember. In fact, you're not even sure you met Wineta there. You think it might have been in Bornheim that you met Wineta. And Echo, you stopped in because you were traveling this way. And it was close to where Jurble was attacked and poisoned.
So in this reality, we went to Bornheim, said, "What's up to all our friends?"
Well,
and
you went to Bornheim originally to try and get to, because they still had the teleportation circle to take you to Bairn. So you did go there. You met the king, lady, and you met them, all of them at that time.
Well, I'm not saying pre-Baron. I'm saying now post-Baron.
Post-Baron.
Leading to this trip that we're on right now.
They are like you stopped into Mossvale, and you know that the bugbears are still advancing.
But they weren't at Baron yet.
They had almost reached Baron. Baron were, from what you could tell, Baron looked like, Bornheim. From what you could tell, Bornheim looked like that they were strengthening their forces, that they were training their guard. They look like that they were getting ready for a battle.
Got it.
But
and we started coming this way, and in the midst of it, Jurble still got attacked.
Yeah, you went to Mossville. You exited Mossville. Not too far out of Mossville, Jurble was attacked by a bugbear assassin. Y'all took care of it pretty swiftly, but not before Jurble was poisoned by the dagger. And then thus, since then, you went to Echo to try and find, a healer. Met Kalos. Kalos sent you this way.
Did we still get attacked at the bridge area?
Yes.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to. Yeah.
Either way, we still need to go
something
get him healed,
big.
But something's weird.
Something big happened.
Is it? I don't understand this whole timey-wimey stuff with the artifacts, but we know that Lady Ansem, right, was going to try and find one of the artifacts, right?
No, what we knew. Well, let's go. No, well, I just out of character. But Jurhan told us that he thought that she had one.
Yeah.
Because she is quite older than her looks appear.
Yeah.
So,
do we think what we just experienced is because of a side effect that we're experiencing just as us as a group? Or because maybe she did something with hers and it affected the whole world?
The fact that Aurelius is also remembering this stuff that we are now remembering.
Well, he's not remembering it. His books just have it written differently.
Right. So he was affected as well.
Yeah. But not his time traveling books.
Which are, they're magically protected against. Yeah.
So the real question is, was the other reality the reality that's the real reality, or is this the real reality? And we were always just deceived the whole time.
You are now officially.
My brain hurts.
It's a good mental puzzle.
Hi.
Down looks around while everybody's
Thank you, Geneva.
talking about it.
Oh, he's back, guys. He's back.
Taking away his hand.
We have
he's back.
Some cakes. Right.
Focus.
The shipment is
Focus.
in.
Focus.
Right?
What did you find?
All right, thank you. Oh, sorry. I just treat this like it was an actual phone call and not like something that actually he should be able to talk to you anywhere he goes, but whatever. Yes. What was I looking for again?
I think the question was the artifacts.
Right.
The bell jar. Is our bell jar okay?
Oh, right. Yes. Your it seems fine.
Is our bell jar okay? What do you mean by that?
Well, they're all in your bell jars.
Or the little things of the
little
world.
universes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The other reality. We were asking if the other reality
jar
still
effect.
existed. Okay, cool. It's like, okay, I'm on board now. I got it. It's like, what the heck is a bell jar?
Is there anything, Aurelius, is there anything we could do here on the ground to either confirm or refute that something like this has happened?
Are we still on horses?
Yes.
Horses are taking us all in.
I got mine.
After a 3-hour trot,
You're still on horses, yes. They
leaving the rest.
look a little different than what you remember, though. Like they look like
not the horses.
They look
not
like
the horses.
different colors, like a different, whereas like Ren, your horse was like a light brown. Now it's kind of like a dark gray. Teagan, your horse was like almost an off-white, and now it's like brown. Just small differences, like almost like it's different horses than what you had before.
And to clarify, we are coming into this as if we were already people in this reality, but we just had this moment where we walked to this space and suddenly something feels strange and we vaguely remember maybe something different.
Correct. And you moved it seemed like you had moved several feet when all of that happened.
Got it.
Yep.
Like to the left. To the left.
So, so that happened.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna solve this right now.
So Aurelius is still on the line.
All right. Well, we're heading for Aurelius Empire. Jurble needs some healing.
Oh, is he
Read
okay? Is
Well,
he sick?
well, we
Jurble,
told you
are
he got
you
attacked.
are you? Oh, right. Sorry, a lot of universes to keep in contact with. My apologies.
Write it down in your book. You won't forget it.
Okay. All right. Jurble attack. Let's see.
Well, but write it down in. Well, I guess it's true in both realities, so it all works.
Okay, so you'll keep me posted, huh? About what, if anything else is strange. I mean, I could make a trip down there, but I'd rather not. A lot of stuff to do here, but
yeah, you got pastry shipments.
Pastries?
Oh, Pixren, the Yanti, she created this amazing pastry recipe. It's like a donut inside a cake, inside another cake.
Teagan's gonna drop his pendant just like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hang up, whatever that's like. I'm gonna hang up.
All right.
Thanks for the help. Bye.
Aurelius is gone. Keep me posted. Yeah. All right. So.
How did he get that job?
Probably self-appointed.
Dirty luck coming your way, Teagan.
All right. So.
Well, we might as well move into town, right? He still needs help. We're not gonna.
Yeah, we still gotta help Jurble, right, Jurble?
Solve this time jump thing.
Yeah, that would be good.
I don't have his thing.
I also looked in my bag and my map is gone. I don't know what this accent is. My map of Victa that I found at Bornheim is gone.
Do I still have my map of Dem Glim that I have?
Yeah, so you have. Yeah,
Okay.
you know, you still have your map. You still remember everything about the demi-plane of Aurelius, everything as far as that goes.
What about going to the big party in Victa?
Yeah, all of that's still intact. Yes.
God only knows where my chainsaw drawing is. Oh, didn't I give it to flamboyant orc dude?
Oh yeah, I think you did. I can't remember his name.
Flamboyant
But,
orc dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy in Burlesque. Yeah.
The bookshop. No. He was in.
Yeah.
He was in Trindalag.
Trindalag, yeah.
Trindalag.
Yeah. All right. So y'all continue towards the Aurelius Empire. Do you want out? Sorry. Too bad. You can't go out.
You're trapped in this reality with a sucker.
Yeah. So y'all continue forward. You have about probably an hour's ride before you get to like the city limits. There's some high walls kind of surrounding the most of the city. You have some like residential areas that are kind of like sitting on the outskirts more towards the shoreline. But around most of the city is this large wall. You'll see a couple of guards standing at the posts there, with the gates leading into the city, dressed in blue and white. Oh, what's your business here?
We got a sick friend. He needs some healing.
We were here to see Criven.
Oh yes, the healer. Right. Kind of looks to the other guard, and the other guard's just kind of like, sure. Just to let you know, it's a little bit of chaos, and as you had gotten closer to the gates, you would have heard. It's not sheer panic, but there's definitely a lot of hustle and bustle in the city. And you'll see kind of just inside the gate some guards kind of running back, going back and forth. And it definitely looks like people are staying busy. And my cat just looking at me. Give me 1 second. Let me just open this door really quick.
Justice.
Here, you want out? Or are you just looking
Was
at
it
me
the
through
cat
the
or
mirror?
the door?
That was the door.
Yeah, that was the door. All right, I'll leave that open for like a few minutes. And he lays down. Okay. Anyways, the fun times of having a kitten, y'all. So yes, the guard will look back at the group of you and sure, I warn you, it's a bit chaotic in the city right now. We welcome you to the Aurelius Empire. It's usually not like this, but something, we had a few structures give out in the city, and it was quite, it's
Yeah,
been
we
quite
saw that
chaotic.
we saw that when we were riding in. Was there a reason? What happened?
Well, you know the floating city, and he motions up, and you can kind of, you look
Who
up
doesn't?
at this floating city, and you can just see, like, it's not exactly overhanging you yet. It's more kind of inside the city, but it's enough to where, like, the shadow from the sun kind of, because it was kind of behind it, is kind of cast over you. And you can kind of see the underside, which, I mean, normally, like, you would think, okay, this has been lifted out of the ground, but it looks like that they've covered it with, like, metal, with some different colors of metal and some paint, and so trying to make it look a little bit interesting, at least. And so it kind of, like, shines from a few rays of the sun kind of moving under the floating portion of the city. A couple of our things gave out, and we've had some disappearances. It's been chaos. We're going to be sending some guards out, but where did you come from, may I ask?
We came from Echo and Bornheim.
Bornheim, yes. Anything weird happening coming from that direction that would... It just seems
It's a real
strange.
creepy bridge back there.
Right, I've been across that bridge. Yeah, the one with the weird voices, right? The other one
That's the
speaks
one.
up. Yeah, good luck going back across, if you're going back towards, Bornheim, but,
Do you know if there's a safer path on around the other side of the mountains, north side of the mountains, instead of going over the bridge?
it's kind of relative. The other side, is well traveled, probably more so than the bridge side, of course, but especially if you have larger carts. But there is a witch that lives in the woods, so you just be careful.
Got it.
The other guard kind of snickers. I didn't take it to being superstitious. I'm not going to put down I'm not going to put down legends, passed on by, family to family. There's a reason that they're around.
It's true.
You just have to be wary of it. And you'll be fine. I haven't heard of anyone, there's been no rumors of anyone getting killed by the witch. The bridge, however, we have heard of people jumping off of it, so.
Naturally. But no real news. The people of Bornheim are preparing for battle to keep back the invasion of bugbears.
All right. Yes. We had heard from the king, or the king's guard, but a couple of days ago, and yeah, they thankfully we're a little far removed from it, but might be sending some guards on there to help them, but we'll see. Anyways, I've kept enough of your time. Please take care of your friend. He kind of motions towards Jurble, who's kind of like leaning against his horse a little bit. And just step in. Shaman Criven is deep into the city, but if you follow the main road, make a right at the end and make a left at the tanner shop. You should see his sign. I think it says healing. Is it? Yes, that's it. All right.
Thank you.
If you need anything, just see a guard. But again, it is a bit chaotic inside, so mind your way. And if I were you, I wouldn't stay, too long. But hopefully, we'll get things settled and straightened up here quick.
How does just real quick before we travel on? How does one get to the upper portion?
Oh, quite easily. Let's definitely bring up her information here.
Rock
First off, I guess, do you know who the ruler of this area? The Queen Consort Sada. She rules the city with her council, but she is, of course, the Queen Consort. But you may see her about the city today as we're having some issues. But just pay your respects and mind your business. But yes, going up towards the city or the flying portion of the city, it is open. Up there, we have more of our governmental district, which is the part that's floating. Brought up just in case we had, once we heard about these bugbears invading. And we've tried to keep it nice and steady since over the past.
That's quite smart of you.
Over the past couple of months. 2.5. I think it's been close to 3. You're right.
Insight. I was just going to say insight that he's probably to the fact that he's probably having trouble remembering things and keeping things straight as well.
Sure, you can do an insight on that. Sure.
Okay. 13 plus 2, 15.
5. Yeah, you can tell that whereas you've experienced having your memories being effed with, it seems more like this is just a kind of he just regular forgetting, getting dates mixed up. It's not anything that he's
okay,
time has changed.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but you can easily, there's a lift that goes from the bottom to the top, but unfortunately the lift is out since we do have the and he kind of points up to you can see the bend in the structure that kind of leads up from the base to the top. But we do. I think we have some mages doing teleportation circles that can take you up to the government center if needed.
Thank you.
You might be waiting a bit, but as I said, it's a bit chaotic. But if you need to visit the government center, it's free to go up there. Yes, but all the rest of what you'll need should be down here on the bottom.
Much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Good luck and good day, and may the gods be with you.
Indeed.
And as the group of you step into the city, you can tell that the city, even with of course, around the gate there, you have a lot of residential areas. As you get deeper in, you start seeing more shops and larger buildings. You have a meeting hall. You see a couple of churches. And as the deeper into the city you go and towards the center of the city, I guess is what I need to say, is that the buildings not only get less residential and more commercial, I guess, but also more grand. But it's not the kind of I guess whereas in say Relesque, you had grand structures, but they looked very intricate and they were all decorated. This one is grand structures and grand architecture, but it's not overcomplicated. It's more simplified. And so you're going straight to the healers?
Yes.
Might as well.
Okay, to the
Yeah. To attend to our friend,
the shaman? Okay. And as you're making your way and following the guard's direction through the city, it is that you pass a bunch of shops. It seems like that they have pretty much anything that you would want as far as shop-wise goes. I pass a couple of churches, one, a couple, to gods you've only slightly heard of, but none of you really worship. But one thing that sticks out to you the most is just the volume of people just kind of running around and kind of rushing from one building to the next. And there are some people here and there that are just, they seem to be in pain. There are, what seems like clerics going, from one person to the other. Definitely has been a shakeup in this city. There are some buildings, as you especially get to this one district, that there are pieces that you can see whole areas almost cornered off by guards where a piece from the floating part of the city has fell down and crumpled into a building. And a couple people being taken out on stretchers. The guards seem to be trying to, and you have other officials that seeming to like trying to keep everyone calm and under control. It's working to a degree, but also people are still panicked. And still you have a bunch of people just kind of like gawking around whatever's happening. You're just standing there looking like, standing outside of shops and in the middle of the streets. As you pass this, you pass kind of that first kind of little disaster area, you see a few guards bringing a processional through with a grand looking tiefling woman with this kind of like cloak on that's embellished with this golden pattern. It looks like leaves and little swirls, with 4 other women following right behind her. And they all look actually 5 other women following right behind her. They all look very regal. They seem to be protected by the guards. And they seem to be traveling from possibly like the very center of the city out to one of the outer buildings. And you make your way over to not a very large building, but it's definitely larger than the healer's shop in Echo, per se. And it says, but it's kind of medium-sized building with this kind of large window with healing painted on it. And it has some crystals and baskets inside. Or in the window display, I guess. You have 2 wooden doors that you can go through to enter into the shop.
All right. I think I'll help Jurble enter the shop if he's still.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he accepts the help.
I tie up my horse.
All right. Yeah, there's little like a little place to tie up horses outside. Absolutely. There's like one other horse there, and even in this area, you still have people kind of milling about and just a few people looking a little dazed. Yeah.
No, I think Teagan and Jurble would have went in the shop on their horses. I think they.
Yeah, sure. You could have tried. It wouldn't have made it through the door. All right. Oh, and I will also say, I forgot to mention a couple of things. As you entered, you also would have noticed on the city that there are 2, on either side of the city, there are these pulley systems that seem to go from this base of the city to the floating part of the city. And it almost, even from a distance, you could tell that they seem to be kind of moving, and kind of going from like, you have like 2 strips on this side, 2 strips on that side, one going up, one going down, and one on the other side as well. As you get more into the city, if you look up at them, you can see like something gleaming or, kind of glinting in the sunlight, that's being taken up to the, to the top portion of the city. And I would say you might have also saw signs of around the base of one of those pulley systems was almost like this, maybe a couple of you would recognize it's like a mine area. So it seems like that there are mines on either side of the city. And you'll remember that I think Kalos told you that it was a gem, that they specialized in mining and gem cutting. Yeah, and I think that's, let's see, just making sure I didn't miss anything else. Yeah. Okay, so you get to this healer shop and you go inside. It's definitely different than Kalos' shop. Definitely more organized, more clean. You kind of enter into this almost like a small waiting room area. There's 2 doors beyond that, but they're both closed. And there's a little painted sign on a desk that says, "Please wait here." And so the 2 of you go inside. Are all of you going inside or just Teagan and Jurble?
I'll go in with them.
Okay. All right.
I'll definitely go inside.
Okay. So y'all wait there for maybe like a couple of minutes, and the doors just open. That go, the doors behind you close. The doors going into the shop, deeper into the shop are open up for you. And as you go in, definitely more organized than Kalos' shop. These clean marble floors with this marble table right in the center of the room, like a table that someone can lie on, blankets and a couple of pillows. There's a wall of baskets that have all these different crystals and candles in it. There's this, what almost looks like a reflection pool, but there are little baskets of like lotions and things in the corner of the room. And a few other things that you don't really recognize, but it's definitely a very well kept and organized room. Through another set of double wooden doors, steps out a, why don't y'all make intelligence checks for me, please, to see if you recognize this race.
6.
11.
7.
Sorry, what? Sorry.
Just an intelligence check. You're fine.
I just realized I forgot to send you contents of a letter that I needed to send to you. That would be an 8.
Okay. So, Rhaenyra, you recognize this as an air genasi. Has this kind of pale, almost icy blue skin, white hair that flows just below their shoulders, these kind of piercing bluish green eyes, wearing very loose clothing except when it gets down to like their calves, which are wrapped, but the rest of their clothing is like these loose flowing pants, loose flowing shirt with kind of like a shawl over it of the same color, and steps out and can I help you?
Our friend's really sick. He got stabbed by a bugbear. We took him to Echo and they helped him. But then the Echo guy was like, "Oh, there's some more that's in him that I can't get out." And he told us to come to you.
Kalos. Yes.
Yeah.
And they will step up to Jurble and kind of, put their fingers, like, kind of look in their eyes and just kind of, okay, where's the wound? And, he will show them, and they'll kind of look down and kind of get a closer look at the wound. Okay, please, here, and they will help Jurble get over to the table and get on, and they'll just kind of instruct Jurble to kind of, stretch out. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Shaman Criven. It's nice to meet all of you. And she's they're definitely focused on Jurble. Just introducing themselves was just a formality for them, just to.
Mm-hmm.
So Criven will look closer at Jurble's wound and will step over to the wall of the baskets and will grab like a loose one that was sitting on the floor and start putting things in them, these little containers, some candles, and they will kind of bring everything over and start setting up everything. They'll start lighting some candles on this little table by the marble slab in the middle. They will start getting some crystals out, as well as some other things. So, do the group of you live in Echo?
No, we're from all over the place.
Got
We're
it.
just a group of traveling friends.
Good to know. Well, sorry you had to visit us at such an uncertain time. As she's getting things together, excuse me. All right, well, let's take a look here. All right, Kalos did reach out to me and tell me about this. Let's see. I guess, and as she's like, or as they're working, they'll ask you. So I guess Kalos told you about me, or told you that I had a case like this before?
Yeah.
Have you been taking the medicine that I subscribed to Kalos? They asked Jurble, and Jurble kind of grunts and nods. Okay. Well, that's good. That will help things along. And she'll put like a little bit of salve, or they'll put like a little bit of salve over it. So, what exactly did this come from?
We don't quite know. He was stabbed by a dagger. What?
I was going to say, do I still have the empty container that I gave to? Well, I temporarily gave it to
Kalos?
Yes. That she pretty much assumed that was where the poison it came from.
Oh, got it. This is a very interesting situation. Haven't, other than the other person that was in here, I haven't seen a wound like this ever. And been around for a while.
Teagan was going to ask, what were the circumstances of the other wound, if you can remember?
Oh, it was just a human male came in and, it was a human male, and I wasn't very secretive. I wasn't able to get a lot of information out of them before they went on their way, but unfortunately that's all I have. I took a closer look, took a few samples, but unfortunately it's almost like finding, I don't know if any of you are magic users, I dabble in it a bit myself, but, and healing is a form of magic, I suppose. But it's like finding a scroll with, very, very old magic on it. That's the feeling that I got when dealing with this wound, and also your friends. It reeks, I guess you could say, of ancient power, if you want to sound foreboding. But and what's fascinating is that even though it feels the same way, I haven't seen this my entire practice until the other gentleman that came through. I wondered if we had a couple that came through about a week ago, but they didn't stay long enough for me to really get into it, but they complained of similar symptoms. So I guess you could say that it seems to be growing, but not enough for me to get a pin on what exactly is wrong. So that being said, I can run some, do some healing practices on your friend here, if he's willing, and if you'd be willing to stay, in the city overnight. We could do some procedures, put him in the healing waters, and she motions over to the pool in the edge of the room, and, I could put some crystals over him and do what I can. And even if I had 24 hours, it'd be longer than I had with the other person that came through. But I have a feeling that this won't be the last time that I see this.
Does this have anything to do with it? And I pull out the jar of, as you describe it, mucus in a small glass bottle.
They will take the bottle. Wow, I'm just getting words all over the place this evening. They will take the bottle, just kind of look at it quizzically. Interesting. What is this?
We found it on some bugbears that we had to fight. It wasn't the same bugbear that stabbed him, but I wasn't sure if maybe it was like a common thing that they carried around to poison daggers or whatever. Maybe that could have been it. It wasn't anything I'd ever seen before, so I brought it in case it might have helped.
She looks a bit panicked for a moment and takes the little glass jar over to where her candles, where they lit the candles, and they take some chalk out of a drawer underneath that table and start drawing a circle around the little glass bottle, and start just writing things and adjusting the candles to be around this object, and begins to take some crystals out of a basket and put them around as well. And they sit their hands on either side just outside the candles, and they seem very still for a moment. Yes, I don't think that I can study this.
Oh.
They pick it up very gently. Who did you get this off of? Again?
Bugbear.
Having to do with the...
He had a torch. Does that make a difference?
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay.
Bugbear of its own volition, or do you think that it...
Oh, no, he's dead. We killed him.
Well, no, but do you think that was it working in its own accord, or was it working with the oncoming the bugbear army that's invading the east?
Oh,
In the
I
west.
mean, I'm not good with statistics, but I'd say probably a good solid 100% was probably working for the bad guys.
Jurble will speak up from the table. I think that they were working with the others. Yes. Well, this changes
What,
things.
did we like bring a bomb into your city or something?
They slowly walk towards you, Ren, and are holding this out. Kind of. I would be careful not to break that if I were you.
But if I want a bomb, then break it. Is that what you're saying?
It's not a bomb. It's a disease.
Oh. But it's not the disease that's bothering my friend.
No, this is definitely different. This is newer than what is bothering your friend. But even if it's newer, it's still dangerous and almost possibly more dangerous than what is bothering your friend. But I'm not sure. It's a little out of my... You need an alchemist to look at this, not a healer.
You know any good ones?
There is an...
Ones that we could trust, of course.
Well, there is an alchemist in town, Gavin. He's a few streets down, but you can't miss the sign on the shop. It's just called Gavin's. He's not very clever.
You guys are really good with your naming mechanics in the city.
Well, you know.
Well, I mean, that's what I would name my place if I were a Gavin who was an alchemist.
You name it Gavin's.
I would, yes.
Well, you know, sometimes clever names are needed and sometimes they're not.
Fair.
I figured that rather than have a clever name on a healer shop, it's probably better to say what I am so people can see what they need.
It's true.
That seems very reasonable.
Now for your friend.
Can I have my disease back?
Oh yes, here. Again, and as you take it from their hand, they will kind of hold on to it. Be very careful and have it checked out.
Gavin's got it.
Yes. I will let him know that you're on your way, or that you'll be making an appearance there over the next day or two.
Deal.
Oh, would you mind staying? And they're looking over at Jurble now, and so I can run a few practices and hopefully gain a better grasp of what's going on. So hopefully, and they look kind of back to the group, hopefully, you know, by the time that you exit the city, I'll be able to I'll have more information on this and more ways to help.
Where's the bats?
What'd you say?
Where's the bats?
Oh, where's the bats? Yes. Jurble will agree to, you know, wanting to find out what's going on with all of this. I guess I should ask you, looking at the group, have you run into, I don't know, any ancient spirits or...
What does an ancient spirit look like if we ran into it?
I'm not really sure that I could...
Do they have big glowy eyes?
Answer that. No, I mean,
Okay.
I guess that they could, but I mean... The other man that came through mentioned whispers and talking and seeing things. came from around well, he didn't give me much information, but he did mention some spirits that had been trying to get him to do things.
Like jump off a bridge?
Oh no, not that bridge. That bridge has been cursed for a long time, I'm afraid. Did you come across?
Yeah.
And the lot of you lived. Well, I'm both impressed and surprised. It can be very convincing. It's not surprising when we get a large group of yours coming through, and if they come through that area, one of them has been lost. Do you know?
It's pretty close.
Are you from the area? Do you know why?
Nope.
Did you pass the town? What remains of the town after coming this way?
Burned out village?
That's the one.
Oh, not the other village.
The occupants of that village, I don't remember how long ago it was, maybe over 100 years or so, were attacked in that village and started to exit towards this way, but were blocked, and started to exit the other way across the bridge and found someone blocking them on the other side of the bridge as well. So their solution was to either be captured or jump off. So that's what they did.
Wow.
The entire town was lost to that. A few were captured, but it didn't last long. So, that's what I've heard anyways, passed down from my own mother. But at least now you know. Well, go and you can let's see, what time would it be? It would be 9. You guys have traveled around for like 12. You're probably getting around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening probably at this time. You could try Gavin's to see if he hasn't went home for the day. But also there's a lovely inn just around the corner here that you can stop at. So just keep an eye out for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's called the the inn is called the Gilded Roost.
Jurble, will you be all right without us?
I'll be okay. I'll be fine. He may be joining you he'll probably be joining you at the end. I'm just going to be doing doing a few. One of you are welcome to stay if you want until I'm done. Possibly be another 4 hours this evening before we wrap up, and stop back tomorrow morning. And they kind of nod at Jurble, and he nods back, and we'll continue a few more. But one of you again are welcome to stay. You don't have to leave him alone, but just giving you options.
Well, would you like one of us to stay, Jurble? I mean, personally, I would really like to see this alchemist fellow.
I mean, I could use company, but I won't force any of you to go or to stay.
Well,
what
I
did you
can
want?
stay.
Oh, and you'll see him kind of smile and a little relieved.
She kind of takes out a little bag of crystals. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Oh, I see you have one of the reading kits. The Kalos give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. We are, I don't know if all of you know, but we are big We do a lot of mining. We have mining underneath the city, or either side of the city. We don't have it going on right underneath the city, of course. But yes, gemstones are pretty big thing here. And she'll kind of motion towards the wall of the baskets with different gemstones gleaming. Please feel free to look at them if you want. They say to you, Pixern.
You're so scurrying towards the
Yeah,
back.
as you go over, like, there are just, like, baskets of just, like, different colored gemstones and little bags of gemstones and a lot of, like, quartzes and more of the healing type gemstones, of course, but different ones.
Guys, I'm going to be here for a while, so if y'all want to take off, go right on ahead. Jurble, do you think any of these things will work on you?
But feel free to explore the city if you want to as well. Gavin, if you don't visit him this evening, will be in his shop tomorrow morning, sunrise. So, government center is open up top, but I believe I passed by earlier on my break, and there was quite a line to get up back and forth between the two. You may see the Queen herself, the Queen Consort herself. She's been quite busy, trying to keep everyone calm, of course.
Thank you for all your help.
It's just as interesting to me as it is to you, so thank you for stopping in. All right.
Thank you for helping our friend.
Of course. So everyone but Pixern and Jurble are heading out. All right. As you exit the building, you see a couple of guards, or a few guards, bring about. And as you step out, not having the rush of getting to the healer on the forefront of your mind, you start hearing kind of the not only the hustle and bustle, which has actually died down from when you went into the healers, but also this kind of like mechanical, like whooshing and whooshing, because you're not too far from one of the pulleys going up in the side of the city. And it goes from all the way from, where you're here at this base level of the city up to the floating part of the city and back down. And you see kind of these constructed buildings around the bottom of it here at your level, with some workers kind of going in and out. And as you're standing there, these guards come by with 3 stretchers that have white sheets over the bodies on them completely. And they rush them past you and more towards the city center. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Nice.
All right, cool. Well, thank y'all. Thank everyone in chat that stuck around. Hopefully you had a good time. Going over our schedule really quick. Mondays, Tuesdays, not Wednesdays. Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We have D&D 5e content here on the channel, as well as D&D content on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. This Saturday, our DM is still moving for that Tower of Dream session at 6 p.m. Eastern. So I think Dan might be playing some video games around that time. So stop in then for that. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, you have Dungeon Craft with Steph and Vic. Tomorrow, it will be just me because Victoria is out of town. Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, you have Mad Art with Steph, where Steph, do some mad art here on the channel that you can vote on in our Discord, actually. But we have been working through some older pieces, so that will probably be what we do this week as well. And then also on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, this is me multitasking. Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, you have Madbird Plays, hosted by Victoria, where people from the Madbird community and outside the community get together and play some tabletop simulator games or some Jackbox games. And also we have our Patreon going on. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. Not only do you get some extra stuff there, but we get some extra stuff as well. So it's a great way to support the channel, even beyond Twitch or instead of Twitch. So let's get over and raid some really quick. I think we're going to raid the role players. So we just type that in. Again, thank you so much for being here, y'all. Really had a fun evening. It was quite a roller coaster for the players here. So thank you for being here. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful rest of your night. And we'll see you some other time this week. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And raid 1, 2, 3, and...